Fábio, my friend, how
Hi,
are you?
I'm
Um,
fine, I'm fine.
how are you this afternoon in Brazil? There's a lot of people in chat already. And how's everything? Let me know.
Yeah, today is very hot in here, and I'm on a nearby city, on a city nearby São Paulo, in a friend's house.
Okay.
They are they are moving to an apartment in São Paulo, and we are helping with packing and hauling everything.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that this is one of the most love proofs that you can give to a friend.
Wow.
It's helping him with his moving.
Wow. I think so. I
Because
agree. I agree.
yeah,
So I
he
want to
always
tell everybody,
takes a
I
lot.
want you to tell everybody a little bit about you, what you do, what kind of job do you have, if you
Yep.
can help us. Let them know who you
Yeah.
are, please.
Okay. Okay. So for those who doesn't are not aware about that, friend of Rodrigo is my friend since we were, I don't know, nearly born. So it's more than 40 years of friendship, something around that.
We have the
And
same age. We are the same.
yeah, we have the same, exactly. We are the same age. We were grown together. And not only that, but I was his student from, I was, I, rem I reckon since 2011. But I believe that it was, I don't remember how many years we stayed together, Rodrigo. It was
We
about,
stayed together up until last January. So
yeah,
so you
it,
always come and go,
yeah,
because of work,
exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
let
exactly.
me just tell
I
you
work,
something, Fabio. There's some people here. There's Angela from Qatar. There's Aron from Italy. Zobreda from Iran. Diego
great,
from Brazil, who's my student, who's also a project manager. So everybody's in the
great.
house.
Oh, that's great. That's great to have so many people from different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Um, I work as a manager in a multinational national company named Ernst& Young, also known as EY, which is the new brand since 2013, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a advisory company, but we have also branches taking care of computer software deployment, which is the part that I work with, specifically with fiscal obligation software. So we have the tax complexity here in Brazil being handled by these kind of softwares that are um, that have the aim to being compliant with all the regulations and tax returns. So um, I've been working on this area. It is almost 15 years here in São Paulo. I live here about 12 years. Then I'm working in this company for about a year, which has been a huge experience. And so basically I'm a project manager as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a team with me, and we have experts on all the different areas.
Yeah.
For those who doesn't know Brazil, we are one of the most complex countries in the world in terms of taxes, tax laws, tax regulations, tax returns. So it is a mess, and there is an endless job to keep up with all the new laws that are created
Yeah.
practically daily.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my main job. I'm also a father of a 99 years old girl, and so this is my full-time job, being a father.
Yeah.
And I have a side work. It's not a job. I usually don't earn any money for it, but
Mm.
I also have this activity as a photographer.
Oh, you are a photographer during your spare time. And let me tell you guys,
Yeah.
he's good at it. He takes really good shots. And let me tell you
Thank you.
something.
Thank you.
Something, Fabio. The Angelo from Qatar, he's a chartered accountant, so he has a high level of a job in Qatar,
Mm-hmm.
but he's from help the boomer here, Angelo. Uh, I know what he speaks, but I can't remember where he's from. I'm sorry, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And bring your questions to Fabio because I think this is your area and you guys can talk. Zobeda, Diego. Aron is also an accountant in Italy. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody's in the house today. Yeah, Angelo is originally from the Philippines. And but Fabio, I
Great.
want you to tell them why was it important English in your career, and ever since you began, why we study together, so on and so forth. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah, this is an interesting part of my career in terms of how there was it came as a how can I say game changer piece of my abilities here. We had education in English. It was I don't know if you remember we had like a basic education in English when we were school in the basic school. So I believe that I grew up thinking that I had a good level of it. And turns out that the first time that I had to actually use that on my job, I got totally stuck and not knowing anything to how to say, how to put out my ideas. And I remember specifically that day when I came to you asking for help because I was supposed to give a lecture about for some people from Sweden. It was about it is something very specific here in Brazil. It's not a fiscal, it's like a fiscal electronic invoice. And I had to give this lecture because there was no one else in the company that I was working. There was no one else capable for doing so. And I had that advanced English level on my resume, but I didn't. I wasn't practicing at all. So I remember that day that I call you and say, please help me, dude, because I'm in real trouble here. I don't know how. Yeah, we have nearly a month to get everything prepared for that, and we did a lot of conversation via Skype. It was 10 years ago, so all this reality that we are living right now with all everybody probably working and studying online. We were doing that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we were preparing what to say, the perfect terms, what would be more suitable language, because of course that I had a lot of slangs on my natural speaking, and it was very succinct. I worked as a programmer at that time, so I was a programmer. And since it was very succinct, I start to be I start being called to all other presentations. So that drove me to be more close to the business side of the job.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a daily interaction with the project managers and the person responsible for selling, to generate business,
Mm-hmm.
or directors, because there was anyone else
Mm-hmm.
that has the ability to, put out the ideas and have a conversation with in that level. So it was a totally game changing from my side, because I started to, like that world outside of the screens. You was preparing, so I was every time that we have a status report or an international project, I started being called for that.
Mm-hmm.
So it opened a huge door for me
Mm-hmm.
to jumping into something that I couldn't even imagine to be
Working
at
at.
that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. you know. So it was a place that it was totally outside of my skills,
Yeah.
because I had to learn on the go in terms of how to deal with a lot of the stuff that we have, like status report, team dealing with person, with the setbacks that we have during the project. So I start to be more close and closer and closer. And then one day, there was a specific project that was with a French company, and you're gonna remember that,
Of course.
because yeah, there was with a French company, but English was mandatory. So they say we will only accept a project manager that speaks in English fluently.
Yeah.
And so I was there, and I say, okay, I don't have that expertise as a project manager. I never had that it wasn't my official job, but I believe that I can do that. I know the basic, and I can communicate. So this is where, that was when it all started. So I drove this project for about a year. And for people who doesn't know that, we are laughing here because I was interacting with French people a lot, and my accent, my English accent, started to get closer to the French accent. So every time in every classroom, Rodrigo has to correct me and drove me back to this. I don't know, this accent that I have here.
Let me tell you something. Angelo's asking if you are an accountant. No, he's not an accountant. No. But he works with all the fiscal area in Brazil because he deals with the special projects, you know. And there's somebody, and there's somebody in the comments laughing at us that I suppose is your brother, who I don't talk to in many years.
Nice looking guy.
And yeah, he's a yogini or whatever. I miss you, dude. How are you? And what I want to say is that really one day Fábio came for class because our classes were only over the phone, mostly, as much as Felipe used to do. I mentioned Felipe because Felipe was an interview some weeks ago. And then he started speaking with me, and he had a French accent. Most of the conversation said, "What happened to you?" He said, "I don't know." I said, and I asked, "Are you speaking to French people?" He said, "Yeah." So that's why. And then I had to explain all the sounds again because he was engaging with those guys so much that I had to help him. And there's a question from Diego over here. Let me read it for you because he is a project manager as well. Which one was more important in your career, English or your soft skills?
I believe that is a mix of both. Okay, because again, English speaking is still open a lot of doors for me. So being able to communicate, being able to right now I'm being about a year again in a worldwide project. So I speak with people from India, from Poland, from from Britain, from USA, from Costa Rica, from Argentina, from Qatar. We have all these people in the same room talking all day long. So, so of course that the soft skills, in terms of, you're gonna have to bring some soft skills because you're dealing with a lot of different cultures. You know, so sometimes the conversation in English, it may seem a little rough, but it's not. You can see that there is a different cultural thing, and I believe that at least try to put that.
I'm not listening to you.
Sorry.
Now it's back. Yeah.
Yeah, let me put everything on do not disturb here. Was my mistake, guys.
Okay, no.
Sorry about that. So I was telling that it's a mix. It's a mix because dealing with a lot of cultural aspects, and you have your team, And you know, as a project manager, that there is a lot of issues dealing with a team. Somebody wakes up with the left feet, as we say in Brazil, and you have to deal with that. So someone else has a personal problem or a personal issue to deal with, and you have to deal with that to keep up with the schedule. So everything has to be bind together. And so I wouldn't say which is more important. What I can say is that
I'm
English
laughing at your
is
brother
still.
in the comments. Your brother never changes. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I English is still opening doors for me because of I'm being able to communicate with people all around the world. Being of course that being a multinational company, it makes it easier. But of course that if you cannot communicate, you're gonna be left behind, or you're gonna be left aside, or they'll be searching for someone else.
Yeah.
So it's a mix. It's hard to say which is more important, but I believe that what I can truly state, and I can pinpoint the specific points of my life or my career where the English speaking has opened the opportunity, and I grabbed that.
And something else that I can say that was a game changer for Fábio. I talk to you guys all the time that I have lived in New York for a month, and I took some students to New York, and Fábio was one of them. So we lived 1 month in New York, and that really was a game changer for everybody, you know, living there for a month and learning and everything. And I was talking to Fábio yesterday, and he told me that I'm really shy, that I have to brag a little bit more about me. But I don't know if he's going to remember about this story when I went to the school after the first test we did, and they called me to the principal's office and they asked me, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Why? I am a student too." And they told me, "No, you don't have to study here." I said, "Why?" "Because you have aced the entrance test." And everybody looked at my face and started to say swear words to me that I'm not going to be able to say here. They told me to go places. I don't know if you remember that story, but you were sideways to me when the principal told me, "No, you don't need to study here." And everybody started booing me, saying like, "What are you doing here? Shouldn't come," you know. And it was an excellent period of my life. I can't forget that we lived in New York for a month, and we learned a lot. And also Fábio has traveled to Europe some time ago, and he had the chance to know a lot of places. But what I always try to say to these people that watch us, because they're mostly English learners around the world, is mostly about what you just said, international English, sitting around a table speaking from Qatar, from the Philippines, from Iran, from Italy, from everywhere. So all kinds of accent. That's why we call international English today, you know. And let me tell you, how did my classes help you improve your English? What is the aspect from our classes, besides being friends, that you think helped you a lot?
Yeah, just say one thing. Living the first time in New York, I believe that the English speaking wasn't that hard for me, and of course that's not for you. But learning the subway lines, that was very challenging, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was very challenging for us because it's very complicated.
Because we have to listen to the PA all the time. Where
yeah,
they at? So
I still hold my rucksack.
Yeah.
With the subway lines,
he
you know,
go everywhere with his rucksack around the subway line, you know. So this is his trademark when he was in.
I totally recommend that. It's a good rucksack. It's been with me for years, and it doesn't wear out that easily. If you go to New York, go to Grand Central Station and go to the subway. There is a store in there.
But
you can buy that.
this
It's
is
very cheap.
version 2.0, because this is the second one. When you came back to New York, you bought another one.
Yeah,
Just exactly the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
same, you
yeah.
know? So,
Exactly. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, yeah. Every time that I go there, I try to grab one because they're
Yeah,
so good.
yeah.
And also, okay, but you were asking about the aspect.
Hmm.
So first, the availability that you have, because you're always helping, you're always willing to help. And I believe that that was one of the most aspects
Hmm.
that we shared. And I was so grateful that you were there on the. I remember there was one place that I was in a meeting typing you and say, okay, how do I say that? How do I say this expression
Yeah,
here? I want to say something. They just say, just okay, say like this. So that was the first time that I got expressions like raining on parade or bringing sand to the beach.
yeah,
And I was, okay, so I don't want to bring sand to the beach here, guys. Well, it's a very common expression here in Brazil. We
yeah,
have
yeah,
something similar here. And everybody say, okay, so it kind of put me in a situation that people look at me, okay, and saying that, okay, this guy knows how to speak
yeah.
this language here. He guys,
Because bringing sand to the beach, for those who are Brazilians, is chover no molhado, you know?
exactly, yeah,
So
yeah, exactly.
he was trying to say that in English, but he was in the meeting. The meeting was going on, and he
Yeah,
texted
yeah,
me and said, "I need help right now." And he said, it's only to say that you're bringing sand to the beach." And then he said that, and the people in the room looked at him, you know, like, this guy
uh-huh,
knows what he's saying. So,
exactly.
and that's why I think that having a teacher, or having, because somebody calls English teachers today is like coaches. So I think it's very useful. And today, your friend Deborah, we talked today, and she's going to start having classes with me as well. And
That's great.
she asked me if I would be if I would have a lot of patience with her. I said, Deborah, what I have more is patience in my life, you know, because
Yep.
teaching people another language. And one aspect that I want to tell you, Fábio, that my friend from Manchester, Gino, who I recorded
Mm,
with for my channel, told me, he said, I commend you because you do something that I'd never do. Because of course, he's an English speaker because he's English. And he told me I would never teach Spanish because he learned Spanish. I would never go to a classroom and teach Spanish. So I commend you very much because you go out of your comfort zone every day for more than 30 years. And then we're telling our age right now that we are
mm-hmm.
40. But I don't care. Age is just a print. I'm
Yeah.
still 15 in my mind. And they told me that he told me that is very brave, you know, because you're not teaching a language that you teach, and teaching at a high level that you teach. It's amazing. So when somebody
Mm-hmm.
comes and tells you that your job is nice, you're doing a great job, like I talk with Aronne, and I are great friends. Angelo is a great friend. They're always here. Zobeida from Iran. So I try, what I want to do with these lives on Instagram is motivating people to learn more and more, you know.
Sure.
And
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about non-native teachers, what is the idea that you have? Like, I am not a native English speaker. My level is near native, as you know, which is the
Mm-hmm.
last level that somebody can come to. But I'll never be a native English speaker. And what do you
Mm-hmm.
think it is having classes with a non-native? And what do you think the difference is? What can you learn more? Do I teach you the right
Uh,
pronunciation of things, how to do the sounds? What do you think?
exactly. I believe that the phonetics is one of the biggest
Mm-hmm.
aspect that we can work together
Mm-hmm.
as a
Mm-hmm.
Brazilians, for example, or for those who are not non-Brazilians on the audience. Portuguese is a very complex language to, you know, have a lot of things to deal with, you know, tongue position. There's a lot of sounds that no one else can pronunciate. But on the other hand, we have difficulties with TH sounds on the English, for example, and or the ending sound of D for the past tenses. And I believe that being able to understand that some pronunciations are not that easy for most of the foreign people is one of the aspects that you can take advantage when you're learning with a non-native English speaker. The pace is also something that is more, what I can say is like, talking with native English speaker, you have the volume variation, and sometimes you're going to you don't know what the people are telling. So when you're talking with someone that is a no native speaker, we try to raise a little the volume, so you want to be understood, and you want people to really listen to what you're saying. So I believe that this is one of the most how can I say, good aspects with learning with a non-native English teacher, because it can the person has the ability to, you know, to really
exactly.
understand, understand your difficulties with pronunciation, especially because it is easier when you look at the screen and you say something, or you read something, or you try to write something, and you know the grammar, and you know how to put that in words, or write an email. That is, I know I'm not trying to, I know it's hard, it takes a lot, but anyway, for being have the pronunciation in a way that you won't be
misinterpreted. Yes.
Misinterpreted. Sorry. So having this pronunciation in a way that, you know, you won't miss the punchlines, you won't miss the proper information that plays at least for me, that we are talking. When I'm talking about English in my my world, in my job, in my daily job, we're not only talking about a simple communication. There are you know, contracts aspect that has to be very clear, or tasks and responsibility. We have something that is, Angela will know, that is a racing matrix, where you can say the responsibility, the accountability, the communication, and the informant people. So that is one of the aspects that you don't have room for misunderstanding, you know. So that is one of my biggest concerns when pronunciating things correctly, and try to be more clear that I can. And I know that if you don't have that, sometimes it can lead you to a misunderstanding, and you end up on the following week, and someone will say, "Oh, I didn't get that. I wasn't aware that it was my job to accomplish this task." And
because
it's very tough, you know?
Because if you allow me to add to that, acquiring vocabulary depends on the person, but a clear vocabulary, you have to have sometimes somebody who helps you to clear that sound, so you can be really well understood. When we study accent reduction, that's what I did in my master's. It was not to get the person's accent off. It was to clear the pronunciation of the English language for the person. You know, so I don't know if somebody has any kind of questions. If you have any questions, just send in chat that we read and answer, or else we're going to keep talking here. But how many hours a day or days a week, I don't know, do you have to speak English at your job right now, Fábio?
Nearly all day long. Nearly all day long. So I have meetings starting at 8 a.m. here to 6 a.m. I have a again, so of course that I have hours that I work by myself on the computer, but most of the conversations are in English because I'm in this huge project, a 5 years project, implementation all around the world.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of waves, and this last week I discovered that I gonna be on this project until next August.
Wow.
And so yeah, and so it's nearly all day long. We have, if it's not speaking, it's chatting, or it's writing emails, writing documents, reading documentation, reading or looking into some webcasts, or videos for learning. So it's nearly all day long that I have been using, especially the last year.
Yeah.
Even though I'm working with a very specific Brazilian situation, okay, but we are deploying these systems in national companies. So I'm interacting with tax people from USA, tax people from Europe, especially. And they're very interested in knowing our reality because it's something so far beyond their reality. Their tax reality is so way easier than ours.
Yeah.
It's simple. You don't have all the math that we have in here, so they're very eager to understand, to eager to sometimes they get a little confused because we can explain that even to ourselves here in Brazil is very complex. Taxes. You as a company owner, you know how difficult it is to keep up with all the taxes and the regulations.
Yeah.
So you can imagine in a big company such as a worldwide market, supermarket company, or there is a lot of things to cover.
Let me add something here, that even though Fábio speaks English every day and he doesn't have much time, we speak English sometimes, and he still has classes with me because he wants to get better and think quicker. Now it's been a crazy time for him because he's full of work. He told me in the beginning of the year, but I know that he's coming back when he has some time off so we can practice. And Diego's saying in the comments right now, I'm jealous. I wish I could speak English every day, because he is also a project manager in another company in São Paulo. But
yeah, it's good for practicing, but at the end of the day, you feel a little tired. So when you speak, and but there is you mentioned my traveling to Europe.
Yeah.
So I remember that there was a moment in there, and I believe that it happens when you spend a lot of time outside Brazil. And this friend of mine, he spent like 3 months working on Ireland as well, and he experienced the same. So when at that moment that you spot someone speaking in Portuguese, and it's like a comfort thing, because you can rest your mind a little.
Hi, how are you? Where are you from? Please
you want to
talk
speak
me.
like it's like because sometimes it's stressed a little. And again, and you mentioned one thing that I realized this time, this last year. Keep up speaking and keeping studying, because you have to train your mind.
Yeah.
And by training it, you get your mind in a better shape. And that is not, this is not something that I truly believe in that, because I reached those peaks of English speaking, and I can, I have sometimes some specific days that I can spot that I'm tired. I'm a little tired of speaking in English, and the level starts to decrease, and I start trying to, and I speak slower. I can see that my mind, and that is like an alert
Yeah.
that I have to take a little rest,
Yeah.
study a little,
Yeah.
because by studying you keep always in shape.
Yeah.
And our shape is increasing.
Because our brain is a muscle, and then
Exactly.
we have to train
Mm-hmm.
it. You know, that's what I
Mm-hmm.
tell my students. But
Mm-hmm. It's the same way that, for example, it's like the same way. Sorry to interrupt you
no,
by that,
no.
but it's the same way. Like, let's imagine that you want to run a marathon,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start, and then you start running like 40 or 20 kilometers every day.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna end up tired,
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of injuries,
Mm-hmm.
and not being able to run that
Yeah.
marathon. So you have to, keep training. For me, English speaking is like the same, because I have sometimes that I'm so overwhelmed that
Mm-hmm.
I need to rest a little. So I start speaking
Give it
slower,
give
and
it a break. Yeah.
yeah, give a break, or speak slower,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
I try to reduce the level of meetings,
Mm-hmm.
and try not avoiding a little,
Yeah.
switch a little to Spanish, because there are a lot of Spanish speakers on the company as well,
Mm-hmm.
on this project as well. So I switch a little to Spanish,
Yeah.
and try to improve a little. I have a little Spanish here as well. It's
What
uh, uh,
I think when a person speaks English, what you're trying to say when you mean training, I think the
mm,
correct word there would be polishing. You should be polishing
yeah.
your English
Hmm.
every day, you know. We call
Hmm.
it brushing up in English. Like
Brushing up. Yeah.
If you come to Brazil and you don't speak Portuguese in a long time, you have to say, before that I need to brush up my Portuguese to come back to Brazil. You
Exactly.
know, so
Hmm.
I was telling a student of mine yesterday that learning English is not the time. Learning English is something called consistency. If you have
Hmm. Hmm.
consistency,
Hmm.
you learn English. And I have to tell you guys something that Fábio and I, we haven't talked in some time because we just love each other, but we don't see each other very often. And
He works a lot,
when
people.
I invited
He's
him
always busy.
to have the interview with me, I said, "Hey, I'm on YouTube." You said, "No way. What are you doing on YouTube?" And then I sent him all the infos and the channel, and then he saw some stuff. And because now the YouTube for me, as I told you yesterday, is a portfolio for my work. Because
Hmm.
you more than anyone know, than Julio, who's here, knows. Um,
I can see you. Yeah.
Julio is in the comments. I love teaching English, and you know that
Hmm.
because I
Hmm.
teach for many, many years. I think YouTube is something new because if somebody wants to know me, they can go to YouTube and see the videos and know who I am, the kind of job that I do. But what I really like is this interaction that we are doing right now is teaching people and helping people to improve in their English, because I myself still study English every day, and you know that. Even being a teacher, I study every day because I have to be up to date to the language, you
Exactly.
know.
Hmm.
So I think that's pretty much it. In every sense of our career, of our life, we have to be better. Brent,
Sure.
how are you? Nice you're here. This is Fábio, and Fábio, this is Brent, the guy that I
Hi,
tell
Brian.
you about so much. He's a project
That's great.
manager in Brazil, and he is my student in and out.
Hmm.
You know, he comes and goes, but and we are friends in a long time. And yeah, Brent is in the
Just a
house,
little.
Angelo. Yes, he is. And we are talking about the consistency of learning English, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what Fabio is
I,
talking about.
yeah. Let me just have another story here for the people that
Mm-hmm.
just got in, and for the other as well. So I have a very special situation that I've been glad to experience here. So we had this internship program at UI,
Mm-hmm.
and I have I have two internships with me, two persons, one boy and a girl, and this girl, she just have the most how can I say, interesting story that you can. It brought mostly almost brought everybody to tears when we discovered who she was and what was her background story. I don't want to jump into that because she's not here in anyway. That doesn't matter. She's 21 years old, and they everybody, not everybody, but most of the people that I interview on my on the company to work with me, they put like intermediate English level or advanced English level. And when you invite them to speak in English, they're totally stuck. They don't know what to say. They don't get to put the words out. So and this specific girl, her name is Beatriz. So Beatriz, I saw in her resume, it was English learner. It was, and I say, okay, how do you think is your English level? She said, I don't think it's not that good. I don't think it is that good. I don't think, she said in Portuguese, I don't think it's that good. I never been in a meeting, talking in English, so I don't know how would that be. And I say, okay, what if we try a little? Can we try? Can you say your name, say a little about yourself? And then she did it. She did it. And she's such a special person. And but I was very afraid because I didn't have a specific word to put her to work with, or a specific assignment to put her with, because at that very moment I don't have anything on my hands to say, okay, this is your project, this is your engagement here. And then again, I came into this project that I work in now, and English is mandatory because of the aspect that I told you. So we're talking with people all around the world, and I need an extra hand. I need someone to help me. I was totally overwhelmed with tasks all day long. And I say, Bia, I call her Bia, I need you to help me here. So I need you to, I know that you don't have that very good English level, but I need you to, communicate with people, to reach and ask for status reportings and give status reportings. And I just assigned that. And I knew that it was a lot for an internship, but she got it all. She totally could handle it. And specifically, she started improving her English. So she wasn't afraid of her, beginner level of English.
The experience, yes.
Exactly. She just threw herself, and she's shining. Everybody's looking at her and say, "Who is this girl?" So she's brilliant, and she can. So it's very, for me, because I saw her story since the very beginning on this company, and it's been a year, and it's been how can I say, a very joyful year. There is a lot of, a lot of things that happen and I saw the others say, oh my God, she can help us. Very people with more senior consultants without the English are asking her to help them, to go with the foreign directors or with the stakeholders to talk with, to do this translation. So she's getting in touch with so many things that she would never be if she was just a regular internship with no English at all. So again, it has the ability to put you in situations that normally or usually you wouldn't be if you have the at least the basic skill. So as long as you can communicate, as long as you can put your thoughts into words, and not being afraid, because everybody will make mistakes.
Of course.
Everybody will switch words one time or another. It's very hard. It's not that easy. Even you're seeing me like again, I speak this language all day long on my job, but we need to keep brushing up. We need to be polishing it, sharpening it a lot. So but doesn't being afraid of putting yourself into a situation that you need to work with, that you need to, that you don't have any other way out. You cannot talk, you cannot, you know, just move yourself away out of the conversation with a board of directors, for example. You know, so this is very put yourself into a situation that where you really need that, and don't be afraid. Everybody will make mistakes. You won't you won't imagine how many, you know, high directors position, vice presidents doesn't know how to speak that properly. You won't know how many meetings that I saw with, you know, the highest stakes on the board that doesn't know how to speak there, and you have to jump in and help them with the conversation. There's a very funny situation. But anyway, just trying to say here that never stop searching for improving that.
Yeah,
that would be
right. You're absolutely right. That's something that I tell my students, and that Brent tells all the time, because he's learning Italian as well. And
oh, that's good. I have an Italian dormant in my mind here. Is somewhere in here. I don't know how to recover that.
And I think that we should not be afraid of making mistakes, because we make mistakes in Portuguese. We don't care about sometimes making mistakes in Portuguese, let alone English, that is our foreign language or our target language. But Fábio, I want to thank you for being here with us. I want to see if people has any kind of questions. And your brother is saying we switch words in our own language. I just said that, my friend. And,
exactly.
And also, I wanna congratulate you on the achievement of English that you have gotten so far. And I am proud to be part of this learning and this guidance with you, you know. So we should not and never be afraid of speaking English and making mistakes, you know. And it was really cool to see you again, and I hope we work together very soon. And while you don't have proper time, keep watching me on YouTube and seeing the job that I'm doing and the things on Instagram. And for somebody who doesn't know my stuff, my my YouTube channel, you just can find me as Rod, the Brazilian English teacher, because I was baptized by Mr. Brent Watson with this name, because Rodrigo was very difficult to say, so he started calling me Rod, because we have a lot of sounds in Portuguese that are difficult to pronunciate, you know. Angelo saying something, Rod, so proud of you. You helped a lot of people. Yeah, I still do, Angelo. And what I really do like in my life is teaching English to people and engaging with them and helping them all the time. That's what Fábio just said. We enjoyed watching. Thank you, Zobeida. I know it would be really fun and very easy, because Fábio is a great friend. We know each other since we were children, because our parents worked together. My parents baptized his brother, so we are even closer, and when we are together is always fun. And to tell you the truth, Fábio was one of the responsible people who introduced me to one of the places who made me go crazy in New York, which is a store called B&H, which is only electronics. And when he took me there, he said, "Come here with me. I want to show you something." And when I got just cameras and video cameras and DVDs and everything at that time, I said, "This is my place." And then we would go there almost every day to see things, you know. So I wanna
with those gremlins that are carrying the cameras above
things would go above us, and people would be like, because you don't get the products, the products come to you, you know. So one thing I want to say, you have a common Italian name and a last name as well. Do you have Italian ancestors?
Yeah, we have. My family came from Italy. I don't remember. Of course that I don't remember. But I don't know exactly the year. There is a very confusing story. I believe that we don't have time for that. But yeah, Mazetto is Italian surname, and I have a little of Portuguese from my
Yeah.
mother as well. But nearly everybody in Brazil has a kind of Italian inheritance, as anyway. But that's the reason that we use our hands a lot,
Yeah.
you know. So
And,
and we speak a little loud.
Fábio is a very popular name in Brazil. You know, there's a lot of
Is that
Fábios in
yeah?
Brazil. So
Mm-hmm.
when I read in Brent's chat sometimes the name Fábio, I don't know if the person is from Brazil or somewhere else. But I don't know if you guys believe, but I am half Italian as well. My mother's Portuguese Italian, so
Mm-hmm.
so we have a lot of mixtures in Brazil
Yep.
of countries and brothers and cousins.
Mm-hmm.
But Fábio, thank you very much for being here with me, for taking this time. I know that you're helping a friend moving in, and it's always fun to talk to you. And thank you for vouching for my work once again and being this generous person and great friend that you are and you have always been. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodrigo. Thank you, Rod. I have a Rodrigo on my team. I know
Yeah,
that everybody outside calls him Rod as well.
yeah,
So, Rod, I would like to say that I'm so grateful for being this journey, learning English with you. It's been very, no, enriching. And also, there is one thing that I never said to you,
mm,
and I would like to. I don't want to lose this opportunity here
please.
because you changed my life. You changed my life twice. So the latest was when I was very upset and you just called me and say, hey, why don't we go to New York? And that was a very game changing it was my first international trip that I done by myself as a adult. Of course that we had others, but that was such a great experience to spend this whole month in there, going to school, taking subways, finding places to eat, finding locations. I was about to become a parent that time.
Yeah.
It was such a great experience. The first one, you don't know that. I believe that you don't remember that, but I was very upset because when I discovered my condition with I have Crohn's disease, so I was very upset. It was at that time I believe that it was ICQ was the
Yeah.
communication.
Mhm.
Guys, don't. It's for old people
ICQ,
only.
old
Don't
people,
know.
boomers,
Yeah,
boomers. ICQ are for boomers.
just for Boone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
everybody that's
Uh,
not over 30 won't remember that. And I was very upset because I discovered that. And at that time, I used to play capoeira.
mhm,
And then you turn to me and say, I don't know how someone that do the things that you do can be upset.
mhm.
And that was the click that I needed to say, okay, I'm really
I told
okay.
you that.
And there is, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
So there was a late night conversation, and I never forgot about that.
Hmm.
Never forgot. I never told you
Hmm.
because you don't believe. Maybe you guys don't believe, but I'm a very shy person. But I never told you, and I came here with this thing in my mind that I will never lose the opportunity to say and thank you for that moment. We were very young. I was always very stupid, and you just gave me this lesson in simple words. So
Because
I believe that is something that really.
I don't know if it's because of my disability, but I always see the good side of people, you know, and I
Mhm,
always try to help. If I see somebody say, I can tell that somebody said just for a word that they say, you know. And Diego is
mhm.
believing me right now because he said, Rodrigo still knows his ICQ number. Yes, I do. I know my ICQ number up until today. And those
I don't
annoying
remember, but it
sounds of
was
the
a number.
messages, you know.
Yeah, for the kids in the room, that's old stuff.
But
There was something that called internet.
yeah,
I know that you
yeah,
don't know that about
yeah.
anymore,
When
but
we
it was.
started, when we started using the internet with a modem, it seemed like the
Uh-huh.
woods, you know. There was anybody.
Yeah,
So, but
exactly.
thank you very much for those kind stories. And you know me personally and too well. The way I am, you know that I am a nitpicker with my job. I want to teach the best and always keep learning. So thank you very much for sharing these stories. And thank you very much for believing in me and all these people who are here listening to you and listening to me. I think I'm going to do 2 more interviews on Instagram because of the end of the year and the holidays. But I am surely going to keep going with them next year. And new things are coming to the channel. But thank you, Fábio, for telling those stories. It was really nice to be with you in New York for a month, and it's really nice to have you as a friend and being able to be a teacher to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm the one that thank you. I'm the one that thank you.
Okay.
For this opportunity. Anytime.
So go back to your helping, moving in there. And thank you guys for being here with me. It was a pleasure. If you want to know more about me, find my channel, Rod, the Brazilian English teacher. Go to Brent's channel, the American English with this guy. Aronne has a podcast, has a channel in Italian, Talk Italian with Aronne. Go there and follow, subscribe.
Oh, there is an Italian speaker
My
here.
friend Zolbeida also has an Instagram account, Inglisi 724. You know, you guys go there and check. It's always nice to meet more people. If you guys need me, if you need me, Fábio, I'm 1 message away. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.